To These Are the Blades of Our Lives, the figure skating show where I talk to you about figure skating like it is drama for our mamas. On today's episode, we are going to the Great Britain for the 2022 MK John Wilson Trophy. We are starting off with the men. The men event literally took me from the heights of joy to the pit of despair. This is why I say it is almost impossible to predict men's event in any way, shape, or form for the most part. Honestly, after the men's short program, when the top three were Roman Sadowski, Daniel Grasso, and Denis Vasiliev, I was like, this is it. Let's stop right here. We don't need to go no further. Let's wrap this up. We're done. Also, it wasn't even just the top three that I was so happy with. You also had Shun Soto, who, coming from having shoulder surgery, did really good in the short. It wasn't the quad fest we were expecting, but it was still a very decent first outing. And then my baby, Kashiro Himada, had a cleanish short program. Even Jimmy Ma and Tusia Saboy had respectable showing. I was like, you know what? Okay, we're going to stop the short program right here. I'm happy. But no, we had to keep going. And as we kept going, of course, I realized my attempt at reverse psychology on Tomoki Hiwatashi did not work. He had another Tomoki-like short program where he was all over the place. And then it didn't get any better in the long. All I could say is this is another season where we will see Tomoki at four continent where he will have his best four continent life. Not at nationals, not at the Grand Prix, but see you at four continent Tomoki. However, the rest of the event, I just, oh my God, where do we start? But I realized what we had in the short program was not going to last in the long. I knew it. Although I didn't believe Roman would keep his lead after the long, I had hope that he would at least do enough to get a silver, worst case scenario, or bronze. I don't even know how to describe his long program except a meltdown disaster. It was literally as if after those first two jumps went wrong, his soul left his body and he was just going with it. Now, I mean, but this has happened so many times to him before. It's almost like how do we get past this? How do we rebuild? I don't even know. It's not. Is it a question of consistency? Is it a question of training? Is it a question of mental fortitude? At this point, I don't even know what to say in regards to Roman, except another wasted opportunity. But aside from Roman, the men's event was quite pleasant. Again, no one was clean either in the short or in the long, but I felt like everyone was fighting. Kashiro got himself a fifth place finish, which I know will boost his confidence for Japanese national. I don't think he's gonna make the Japanese team because it's just Japanese men and women are just too deep for him to make it. But I can also see him at four continent. I can see the Japanese Federation sending him to four continent for the first time. The podium was bronze went to Shun Soto, who another man that fought. Didn't have the greatest outing in the short program. The long wasn't perfect. He could have easily given up, but he continued. He fought through it and he ended up with a medal. Again, this is a comeback from surgery, so I was just happy to see him at least be on par with the other men. The skate of the night, of course, went to Dennis. He fed off the energy of the audience and literally gave everything he received back to the audience tenfold. At this point, given the state of men, I'm thinking it's not impossible if Dennis can continue this momentum for him to carry this over to European and maybe get a silver there. If the other men don't step up, maybe get a silver there. We just have to wait for European. But I feel like this is another case of confidence boosting, taking the opportunity that I was offered to him and going with it. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what Dennis has in store for us at European. The winner in continuing to improve skater here was Daniel. I wanted the judges to reward his hard work that he is putting in to grow as a skater. And they did that here. And what this is doing is it's sending that message to Daniel to not just focus on the quads, to not just focus on the jumps, but to continue to stretch himself to grow as a skater. This is the kind of positive reinforcement that I want from the judges. That when a skater puts in the effort to be more than what he's normally considered to be, that the judges then step in and say, here's a reward for your effort. I was really happy to see this for Dennis. Overall, aside from the Roman Sadowski situation, I was actually pretty happy with men. Then we moved on to the ice dance. Unlike men, ice dance went exactly as I predicted. The gold was Charlene Guenard and Marco Fabri. Silver was Lila Fier and Lewis Gibson. And bronze was Mylala Capo, Marjorie Lajoie, and Zachary Laga. For me, Charlene and Marco technically are heads above the other skaters this season. Presentation and performance, that is where they lose. But on the physical aspect of this sport, they should be first. I also like their rhythm dance for the first time ever. I mean, it's not a brilliant work of art, but it's very palatable. The free dance is growing on me. I love the back to Charlene's dress. It's almost sort of like this kind of predatorial creature coming out of her back or a symbiotic creature that's feeding off of her. I don't know. I think the back of that dress is really interested and really cool. So maybe I don't love the program as much as I love the back of the dress. Either way, it's not as dull and as boring as they usually give me. I'm getting something, even if it's the back of the dress. This was a well-deserved win for them, and I'm glad they were able to get through this and book a ticket to the Grand Prix final. Really, really happy for them. I am a fan of how energetic and fun Lila and Gibson are, and I am happy to see them win this medal on home ice. I like this pair. However, I will be honest and I will be in the unpopular opinion group. I know politically this team will be put ahead of others, but that does not mean they are actually better skaters than the others. Honestly, Lila and Lewis are nowhere near the skaters that Caitlin Hawaii and Jean-Luc Baker are. They are not even as good as Laurenson and Nikolai from Canada. However, because they are a fan favorite and the politics is behind them, they will be put above those skaters. Unfortunately, this is a part of skating and there's no escaping that. But I'm not gonna lie to myself that over the last season or so, these two have gotten so incredibly fabulous that Lila's giving me Gabby like edges, is giving me test of virtue like, ice coverage and posture. No, we're not gonna do that. They are not doing that. What they are is fun, energetic. They're easily digestible by the public. Both those who like figure skating and those who are only interested in it occasionally. They are that easily digestible team. That is the truth, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because they're gonna be pushed above the other team. That doesn't mean I don't like them. I'm just stating what I believe. And in third place was my Lala couple. I know Marjorie and Zachary are not going to be at the Grand Prix final because two bronze probably won't be enough to get them there. And they're not going to be at Worlds because, darn it, Canada only has two spots. I know this. However, I will die on this hilltop. One day, my Lala couple will be world and Olympic medalists. Mark my word. One day my Lala couple shall rise. This might not be the day. This may not be the season, but one day. I was also happy to see Christina Carrera and Anthony Panomarenko looking strong and healthy here. I'm starting to see the payoff of them going to Scott Moyer. I'm going to admit it, last season, that Olympic season, I didn't understand the program. I didn't understand where they were going. It was a little rough. But this season, not so much in the short, but definitely in the long, I'm catching glimpses, moments of that thing that made them so special as juniors. The reason why I was rooting for them as juniors. I'm starting to catch a little glimpse of it in their free dance. And that was really good to see here. Ice Dance was a very pleasant, non-stress inducing event that I enjoyed quite a lot, unlike the men that almost wrecked me. I have no problem with these placements or the scores. Let me know, what did you guys think? What did you take away from the men and the ice dance? Leave me a comment.